Are you thinking about buying or selling a home in Hampton Roads, Virginia, the 757? Well, I'm Rachel Beasley with That Fit Team, and I want to talk to you today about what disclosures are involved in either buying and selling a home. Let's get started. Now, if you're buying or selling a home here in Hampton Roads, you need to know that in the state of Virginia, we are a buyer beware state. What does that mean? Basically, that means that as a buyer, it is up to you to do your due diligence to find out and research as much information as you can about the home that you are buying. It is not up to the seller to tell you every single thing that they know about the home or the neighborhood. You want to make sure that you have a real estate team that's on your side. Now, as a seller, there are disclosures involved that you do have to disclose things about your home, and we're here to help you know exactly what they are and how to disclose them. As a seller, it is up to you to disclose actually what military aircraft noise and crash zone your home is in. Now, how are you supposed to know that, right? Well, your real estate team will be able to help you determine which zones you are in. But here in Hampton Roads, we have some pretty high traffic aircraft, military aircraft zones, and depending on where you are, you could have some pretty loud decibels coming your way, flying above your home, and it actually can make a difference in how well you sleep at night or how well you can speak to the person outside standing right next to you while one of those planes is going by. There's some areas here in the Virginia Beach area specifically where the aircraft noise is really, really loud. And so as a seller, you have to disclose to the next buyer what noise decibel zone you are in. Now, a lot of the areas here in Hampton Roads actually are that -65 noise decibel, which is the lowest you can have here in Hampton Roads. Now, this is not me saying that you'll never hear a helicopter or a plane go by, but what this is the actual military aircraft zone and their flights that you need to know about. So most areas here are in the -65 and they're not in a potential crash zone. Some places, especially in Virginia Beach, Norfolk, and the peninsula, could actually be in one of those potential zones. And so when you're disclosing to a buyer, you have to let them know if they are in a potential crash zone and which noise decibel zone they are in. And as a buyer, you want to know this too. You want to know if you're moving into a neighborhood that maybe there's a potential for a military plane to be going over your home at all hours of the day and night. And it can be very loud and a little bit annoying. So if that's something that's very important to you, we want to make sure that we're looking out for that as a buyer. And I'll say this, you guys, I've lived in Hampton Roads my whole life. And we have had military aircraft crash in the area. Thankfully, there have not been deaths involved, but of course there have been damage to property. And so this is something that you want to talk to your real estate agent about. Another disclosure is if your home was built before 1978, you are gonna have to disclose to a buyer whether or not you have knowledge of lead-based paint in your home. Now, lead-based paint stopped being manufactured in the late 1970s, 1978 to be exact, which is why that date is on there. So if your home is older than 1978, are required to actually disclose whether or not you know if you have lead-based paint in the home or not. And the buyer has the right to actually get an inspection done on the home to see what that lead-based level potentially may be at. Now, if your home was built after 1978, this is not a form that needs to be involved at all. So talk to your real estate agent to make sure you know exactly if this is going to be required of your home and how you can best protect yourself. There's information out there. There's actually pamphlets and there's online websites for you to go to actually read up on this. But want to make sure you know that this is one of those disclosures that are involved in any real estate transaction, whether you're buying or selling here in Hampton Roads, if your home or the building you're buying was built before 1978. A few more disclosures now. As a seller, you have to disclose whether or not you know of any title defects or permitting violations on your home, and that's actually a form that you would have to fill out anytime you sell a home that is not new construction. So when you're purchasing a home, you wanna make sure you're looking out for this form with your real estate agent. It's called the residential disclosure. Now, as a buyer and a seller, both of you have to work with your real estate agent to go over what we call a CDIF. It's an acronym for the Consumer Disclosure Information Form. This form, when I started in real estate, was only 5 pages long. Now it is 7 pages and growing. On this disclosure is disclosing basically anything that's happened in real estate in Virginia, probably in the last 100, 150 years. So we want to make sure that you're protected and you have as much information as possible about the process of selling, what your rights are as the seller, what to look out for, and when you're buying, again, what your rights are and what to expect and what to look out for. Things on this disclosure are things like you have the right to representation and you can choose that. Are you in a historical district? We're disclosing things like what a historical district could do for you as a buyer and a seller. The lead-based paint is also on there. The military aircraft and noise zones are on there. We want to disclose to you that you're gonna have to have a termite moisture inspection done on your home. Preservatives against wood destroying insects. We've got everything on there from school zones. You can't be mad at your real estate agent if the city decides to redistrict those school zones. Everything you could possibly think of, down to, I think it was a couple years ago, we added in whether methamphetamine was being manufactured on the property. As a seller, you have to disclose whether you know this or not. Polybutylene pipes. Those were actually put in homes in the 1980s, and it's something to look out for. Talk to your home inspector about those too. So there's a lot of things. Again, 7 pages of disclosures, about a paragraph a piece, letting you know about the different things to actually look for. You're required to have home insurance on your property if you're getting a loan. However, we highly suggest having it if you're buying cash. A home warranty, it goes into permitting and things like that. So please make sure that you go over this form with your real estate agent. When we do a buyer consultation and a buyer consultation with you, we'll actually go through this form line by line so you know exactly what things to expect, what things to look out for. And sometimes they're a little off the wall, like methamphetamine, but it's a real thing that you want to make sure you're aware of throughout the process of purchasing or selling a home. A few other disclosures that may or may not be needed, whether you're buying or selling, would be if you're in a property owners association. You have to disclose as a seller to the buyer who the association is and how much you're paying each month. They actually have the right to get those documents before closing and look over them, and the resale package needs to go to your lender or to the buyer's lender and to the closing attorneys. We also have whether or not your home is on a septic system or a well. Is it on city water, city sewer? These are things that a seller does have to disclose to you. Now there's other things in this buyer beware state that it is up to you as a buyer to do your due diligence with your real estate agent to search out. And we could talk about that in our consultation when you're ready to get going. So you guys, that's just really a quick overview of some of these disclosures that are involved. But please get with your real estate professional to find out more information and whether or not you have any concerns about these. So please reach out to us if you have any questions. Let us know. We're here to help you, give you as much information as we can to empower you to make the best buying and best selling decision. I'm Rachel Beasley with That Fit Team. We are professionals in real estate and passionate about people. We'll see you next time.